Next, we'd like to turn our attention to iOS. Of course, iOS is the world's most advanced mobile operating system and powers the world's best mobile devices, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch. We have now sold over 600 million iOS devices. It's an incredible number. But it's extraordinary, and we're proud of it. But it's not what drives us. We want to make the best products that people use more and love more than anyone else's. And I'm really happy to tell you, people are using our products substantially more than anyone else's. Let me show you. This recent study from Experian showed that iPhone users use the iPhone 50% more than Android users use their phone. Now, this is incredible, but maybe not surprising. And if you look at mobile web share, it's not even close. iOS is 2.5 times Android. And if you look at iPads compared to all other tablets, it's not even comparable. iPad is over 4 times more. Now, this shows up in a variety of ways. As an example, just like iOS customers buy more of your incredible apps, they evidently also buy a lot of everything else, according to a recent IBM survey. Both iPhone and iPad customers were responsible for materially more mobile shopping traffic than all other Android devices combined on the most critical day of shopping last year. Now, it probably doesn't surprise you if people are using them more, they love them more. And this is what is most important to us. iPhone was named #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power, not just once, but 9 consecutive times, the first time this has ever been done. And iOS satisfaction is literally off the charts. ChangeWage recently measured it at 97%. And if you look at those people that responded that they're very satisfied, and really look at the detail, which I'm sometimes known to do, you would see that iOS blows out everyone else. 20 points better than our closest competitor, and almost 25 points better than Android. One of the reasons for this is that we provide amazing software updates that provide users incredible new features. And we do this easily and make them available to as many users as possible. Let me show you. Over 90% of iOS users are using the latest version of iOS. Now, that's in stark contrast to the world of Android. And by the way, this is the most ideal state of Android. It only includes those versions of Android which talk to the Google Play Store. So it doesn't include things like Kindles and Nooks. But even then, it's a pretty bleak story. More than 1/3 of Android users are using an operating system that was released in 2010. And if you look at the customers of each operating system which are using the latest version, it's not even close. Now, this isn't just bad for users, but this version fragmentation is terrible for developers, as many of you know. In fact, if you do the math, you would find that iOS 6 is the world's most popular mobile operating system, and in second place is a version of Android which was released in 2010. Now, this is why we get so excited when we're working on a new version of iOS, because we know that we can positively affect millions of developers and hundreds of millions of users. And that is exactly what we've been up to. The team at Apple has been working incredibly hard on the latest version of iOS. And today, it's a great thrill that I announce iOS 7. iOS 7 is the biggest change to iOS since the introduction of iPhone. It's packed with amazing new features and a stunning new user interface. We prepared a video to show you our thinking behind the design, and I'd like to run it for you now.
We have always thought of design as being so much more than just the way something looks. It's the whole thing, the way something actually works on so many different levels. Ultimately, of course, design defines so much of our experience. I think iOS 7 is a clear representation of these goals. It has a whole new structure that is coherent and that is applied across the entire system. We've considered the tiniest details, like refining the typography, to much larger ones, like redesigning all the icons. And developing a grid system allowed us to achieve a much more harmonious relationship between individual elements. We've also incorporated a whole new palette of colors. Distinct functional layers establish hierarchy and order. And the use of translucency gives you a sense of your context. These planes, combined with new approaches to animation and motion, create a sense of depth and vitality. The iPhone, responding to your movements, drives the parallax to create a whole new experience of depth. In many ways, we've tried to create an interface that is unobtrusive and deferential. One where the design recedes, and in doing so, actually elevates your content. Even the simple act of changing your wallpaper has a very noticeable effect on the way your iPhone looks and feels across the entire system. While iOS 7 is completely new, it was important to us to make it instantly familiar. We wanted to take an experience that people know very well and actually add to it, to make it more useful, to make it more enjoyable. To create it, we brought together a broad range of expertise, from design to engineering. With what we've been able to achieve together, we see iOS 7 as defining an important new direction, and in many ways, a beginning.